Most games have one thing in common, and that thing can be perfectly visible on this graph. Most games are going through this graph exactly, no matter how big the games are or how popular they are. And this life cycle starts on release. Most games hit their peak players on the release, followed by quick loss of interest, which are in turn followed by smaller peaks that usually coincide either with sales or with major updates. And extremely rare to see the rise in overall average player count. Usually it just plateaus or goes down very slowly and gradually over the years. But there are exceptions, and those exceptions are extremely strange. Like, for example, this one. This game got released in 2016, and in more than 6 years since its release, it has seen the gradual increase on an average player count and few times even surpassing its release player count, which is even more rare. This game managed to do it completely impossible for the most games, but it still keeps on going 6 years after its release. But how did it do it? How did this game manage to defeat the death spiral of every game? And this game is none other than Hearts of Iron 4. I'm pretty sure many of you have not even heard of this game, even though this game has an incredibly healthy community, having around 30 to 50,000 concurrent players at all times. But what is it and how did it manage to do it? And those two questions are intertwined and needs to be answered together. And thanks to Avenir and their standard glasses for sponsoring this video. With its special lenses, it reduces eye strain, improves your concentration, and encourages your eye reflexes. And most importantly, it helps you with your sleep, so no more restless nights after playing games. And even if that doesn't help you, you can always get an offline gummies by Avenir themselves. It will help you get a good night's sleep anytime. And for you only and for the limited time, you'll get 25% discount if you'll follow a link in the description down below or in a pinned comment. So go and grab something with 25% on me, and thanks Avenir for sponsoring this video. Well, first things first, for the ones who doesn't know what this game actually is. Hearts of Iron 4 is World War II themed grand strategy game, and where you take the control of any nation in this time period and take them through to the turmoils of World War II. And by taking the control, I mean that you take absolute control of those countries, controlling every aspect of it, starting from the basic economy, science, and research, and ending with the wartime decisions. And this game is incredibly detailed and complex, and there might lie the first reason of its success: complexity. For most gamers, usually complexity is not a good thing unless it strikes a sweet spot, and that sweet spot happens when you actually manage to master the game. But you did not master it quickly enough. You need to have at least few dozen hours of gameplay in order to actually understand most of the mechanics of the game. Not even master it, just understand. And you need around 100 hours of gameplay to get even close to mastering anything. And that's why you see the most players in two camps: the players that have less than 10 hours of gameplay, the ones that actually surrendered and did not master the game, and the ones that have actually hundreds of hours of gameplay, and these are the ones that actually endured through everything and mastered the game. There's practically no in the middle. And because when you master the game, you really want to play more and more and more of it, the number of players during the years started to accumulate, starting from sub 10,000 concurrent players very close after launch and hitting 50,000 concurrent players nowadays. Those players accumulate, but no game keeps you going for 6 years straight, right? And this is where the second reason of this game's success reels in, and it is replayability. This game is incredibly replayable, and because every playthrough takes quite a lot of time to complete, and every playthrough is completely unique. Every time you play, even with the same nations, the game will be completely different. And because you can play with every nation in the world, the replayability goes through the roof. You need at least few dozen hours to complete one playthrough, and to complete playthrough with every nation at least once, you need hundreds if not thousands of hours. As you might understand, this is what keeps players returning: more and more gameplay. But even if you mastered the game, and even if you played with everything that you want, it is not enough to play the game for 6 years straight, right? And you're correct. And that's where the third reason comes in, and it is constant updates and expansions. This game has been adding DLCs and changing the game mechanics over and over and over again, adding more and more and more things in these 6 years. And if you compare the game when it was launched to what it is right now, with all the expansions and updates, they're two completely different beasts. And with having more and more and more mechanics to play with, it alters the replayability and gives you even more things to do. And because it takes quite a lot of time to actually master these new mechanics and new nations and these new skill trees and these new focus trees, this just keeps you going until the next update or next DLC reels in. But for some, even with that, it is not enough to keep everyone going. It's not enough reason for some. But that might be a turn off for some people, because some people do not want to constantly keep on buying DLCs. Well, that's actually where Paradox found the solution as well. off by implementing DLC subscription. So if you want to play all the DLC of the game and you don't want to buy all of them separately, you can just subscribe for them for $5 a month and play with all of them until you just don't want to play with all of them, or until they will go on sale and you will buy them on a discounted price. But even with that, for some it might not be enough. It might not be enough to explain how game keeps people returning for 6 years. And there is actually one more reason, or rather two, but let's start with the first one, and it is mod support. The game has incredibly deep mod support that changes not just several aspects of the game of your choosing, of course, but also allows you to completely overhaul the game, like playing in World War I setting or alternative World War II setting, or even in modern day setting. And because game's complexity and replayability, with every single overhaul you start basically from zero again. This keeps you going and going and going, and all of these things will be completely useless if not for one very important thing, and this is the thing that actually is a crown jewel of this game, and it is the setting and atmosphere. For many people it doesn't matter, but for the people who are playing this game it matters a lot, and it's historical setting. For many, the setting of the game hits home quite hard, and most of those people are history buff who understands the importance of the decisions that were made during this time. And plus, because this war was quite well documented, there are many decisions that player can test out whether they could do something differently or not. In addition to all that, game's beautiful story delivery, including the alternative story delivery, and absolutely beautiful music makes this game completely irresistible for many people. And combining with all of that with constant update, bright future, I did not even talk about the multiplayer, game retains its players and makes newer players to join and stay as well. This is how games should be done. What do you think about that? Do you like Hearts of Iron 4? Let me know in the comments down below. And by the way, if you want to watch these videos early, you can always hit the join button and become the member of the channel, because the members are getting early access to all of the videos. Well, this video for today. Thank you for being here with me. Like the video, subscribe for more videos like this one. I'm gonna see you in the next one. See ya.